What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to another episode of the People's Questions. I would first like to start off by congratulating the winner of last Friday's contest question, which was, once again, Gizmore Tech. Congratulations on your first victory. You got the answer right as for what was the most expensive collector's item in my case, and that was, in fact, my Killzone Hellgas edition, which cost me about $120, which I believe is the most I've spent towards any game. Now, someone out there also did guess my God of War Blade of Chaos replica, and although the value of that is about $220, which is significantly more than the Hellgas edition, I only paid about $90 off of Amazon because I'm a Prime member. So yeah, I paid actually less than a lot of the collector's editions I have picked up. So congratulations, Gizmo Tech, and I've probably already sent you your Xbox points by now, so I hope you enjoy them and spend them well. And now to get on to you guys' questions. I actually got about 7 questions, and they're all really interesting. I'm going to start off with the harder ones to explain, because I think this one was going to take the most time to go over. And the first question is from and also, your next question was, why is Star Wars Episode 3 my favorite Star Wars movie? Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put right here the order in which my favorite Star Wars to least. And it goes from 3, 6, 5, 4, 1, then 2. The reason why 3 is my favorite is because that was the one that I think I got more emotionally attached to it. And I absolutely do not like Episode 4 New Hope. It's just a little too cheesy, too much for kids, a little bit too lighthearted. For a situation like the Empire, I would have expected them to take it a little bit more serious. And although I can acknowledge that overall the prequels are not quite as good as the originals, I can acknowledge that the originals really are pretty bland, and in certain parts it doesn't quite make sense, and it kind of undermines just how powerful the Empire is. I mean, you see the Empire build up in the prequels, and it's a very powerful military force and political force. However, that's not quite shown as much as the originals portrayed. I mean, there's a girl who I think is really cool. Her name's Rachel Moore, who I've mentioned before, and actually got a couple of pictures in the case. She would say that stormtroopers are sexy, but I commented with saying, well, stormtroopers might be sexy, but clone troopers can shoot. So I would rather be concerned with someone who can actually shoot me than someone who actually looks better. So yeah, but back to Episode 3. The last scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan was really the most emotional scene, for me at least, because you kind of get to see the relationship build. It kind of goes from a kind of father-son mentor relationship to a best friend relationship to a brotherly relationship, and that's definitely something I can relate to and would personally hurt me to ever go through something like that, and I hope to God I never do, which I'm positive I won't, so I'm not worried. So that's why Episode 3 is really my favorite. I was just much more emotionally into that movie than any other Star Wars film. Next on the list is a newcomer, or actually an original subscriber of mine, but I think this is their first question. It goes by the name of Vic the Ripper, and he wanted to know, who do I think should play Batman after the Nolan films? I think I've answered this one before, so I'm going to stick with my old answer, and I think it should be an unknown. I can't really think of any well-known actor nowadays that I would like to see Batman. If they are really going to start with a reboot and go off and try to tie him in with the Justice League movie, I think it's best that you add an unknown, because I think having an unknown work with another unknown would be better than having an unknown actor work with a well-established actor. The guy who's playing Superman now, let me look up his name real quick, if I'm right. Henry Cavill? I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was an unknown before Immortals. He hadn't really done anything. So I think that if he was, a counterpart to, or if he was Batman to, if he was Superman to a Batman Unknown, I think it would work better because you kind of have two actors who, you know, kind of start off not really knowing too much about each other, but then, you know, they definitely have great chemistry. So that's really who I would like to see. Just an Unknown. As long as he could pull it off, he would definitely need to get the size right, and he would need to stand apart from all the other Batmans that have come before him. Next one is from Timmy Primetime, who had really two interesting questions, and I think he answered one of them himself. And he wanted to know who was my favorite voice actor. And I know some of you would expect me to say something like Mark Hamill or Kevin Conroy or Nolan North as Drake from Uncharted. But Timmy Primetime already answered the question himself, and it is David Hayter as a guy who does the voice of Solid Snake in Big Boss. Simply because out of all of the actors, he's really the only one who I could envision doing Snake. I would rather them kill off Snake than have someone do another voice for Snake. He was really the first voice actor that really got me into a story. It was back all the way on PlayStation 1 with Metal Gear, having that with that game having voice acting, and then him actually being able to gradually show how the character is growing up and developing, and then being able to portray another character as Big Boss is something difficult. Someone like Mark Hamill, who can do the Joker, who is the best at Joker. However, I've seen multiple versions of the Joker, and they all work just as well. I can't really pick which Joker is better than the other because they have advantages and disadvantages over each other. And with Kevin Conroy, it's the same way with Batman. I've seen different versions of Batman. They all have advantages and disadvantages. So, yeah, David Hayter is my favorite voice actor. And his second question was, has there ever been a game that was too hard to beat? And actually, I have a series of games which I've had that experience for. Some of them I couldn't beat, some of them I haven't played, and some of them were just, it suffered a serious case, but let's go in order. Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's been sitting on my shelf since last November. I've only played about an hour of it, and I got bored of it, and it's just been sitting on my shelf ever since. I mean, I occasionally pop it out and play it for a little bit every now and then, but I'm really trying to push myself to beat it before getting Assassin's Creed 3, but I don't know, I just got tired of NCO's story. I mean, I just don't care. Next one is Bayonetta. I only got through about 30 minutes of this, and this game suffers from a case of what I like to call TMSGO, or in explanation, too much shit going on. Literally, this game is like being on drugs playing Devil May Cry upside down drunk. Like, there's just so much going on in this game. It's hard to focus, and it just got to the point where I just couldn't play it anymore. I haven't turned it in or anything because I don't turn in games I buy. I kind of just collect them, and maybe someone else would like there who wants to play it. Next one is Prototype. Now, this one, I'm at the last boss. I can't beat him no matter what I do. I keep trying. The whole missile trick doesn't work. I can't beat it. That's probably why I haven't played Prototype 2. Brutal Legend. Kind of the same thing, except with the gameplay. I thought the gameplay was going to be mostly nothing but hack and slashes, which I didn't have a problem with. The humor was definitely funny and it worked, but once it got to like a strategy element, which I thought was way out of character, I just couldn't play it. And it's just been sitting on my shelf for like 2 or 3 years, I think. And last is Red Faction Guerrilla. I'll be honest, I haven't even played this game yet. I bought this years ago, and when my neighborhood Blockbuster was closing, and it was for like $4, so I bought it, and I took it to work, and I brought it home, and I just haven't played it since. In fact, this is probably the first time I've opened this box in about a year, so it still looks like it hasn't even been played yet. So, yeah, those are my list of games that I either just got bored with or just couldn't beat. Timmy Primetime, keep the questions coming. They're all great. And last, I'm going to go with my contest winner, and he had 2 really interesting questions. And his first question from Gizmore Tech was, what's one thing that I must do when I buy a new game? Really simple. I usually will just take a picture of it and then post it on Facebook and just add it to my collection. I do it with all my games. It just helps everyone know, and just a reminder of what games I do have and what games I want. So that's just take a picture, post it on Facebook. And the next one was a little bit harder, because I never quite thought of this one, and that was, what's one actor or actress or game character I'd like to hang out with? In terms of actors, I can't think of any. I really can't. There's really not too many actors. There's little to none actors I would ever want to meet, because from what I know, actors are nothing like they portray on screen. I mean, so someone who plays as a nice guy in a movie is a complete douchebag in real life. So, you know, I'd prefer to meet the character they portray than actually meeting the person themselves, because from what I know, actors just like to show off just how much better than they are than the rest of us, and that makes them very arrogant people to me, so I'm not interested. And the same goes with actresses. My sister asked me, hey Brian, what actresses do you find attractive? I really cannot think of any, because there's none I'd ever like to meet. There are people out there like you guys, YouTube subscriber. You're the guys that like to meet, because you take interest in what I do and you keep me going. So I would like to return the favor. If anything, I'd like to meet all of you out there more than any actor or actress. And in terms of game character, the one game character I would like to hang out with is the boss. And in terms of hang out, I'd just like to have an interview, just sit down about, you know, her experiences of, you know, what was the first thing you did when you had to give up your child, and what was the last straw, and what caused you to really want to break away from the United States and stuff like that. So yeah, so the boss. And with that, this was probably my longest episode in a long time, so thank you guys for all the questions. And now time to get into the contest question, which is really easy and might throw a couple of you off. And quite simply, it is, who are the 3 biggest video game characters in gaming today? So if you know the answer, or if you have an idea what the answer is, please comment them down below, or you can send it to my personal PlayStation Network ID, which you will see in the credits. And like always, if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and subscribe at the top to me to keep track of my vids and next episode of People's Questions next Friday. Please guys, keep your questions coming, keep throwing me your topic reviews. I'm getting them out as quickly as I can. And no, I will not be doing a review of The Amazing Spider-Man. As much as I love Spider-Man, as he's being my favorite individual superhero, I have no interest in this movie. And if you guys want to know what it'll take for me to see this movie, I'll be more than happy to comment that question in the comments down below. And thank you for watching. Keep questions coming, keep your ideas coming once again, and I will see you next time.